Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Green Room Podcast. I'm Matthew Brune, and joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. Colin has not shaved his mustache,
Yep.
unlike Eric Morris.
Eric Morris has shaved it?
Yeah,
No.
you didn't see the press conference.
No, I was going to watch it after this.
You're gonna watch it after we do the podcast talking
Yeah,
about North
because
Texas.
I don't like to talk about
That's
maybe because I'm just not used to what's like Eric Morris. I feel like actually says stuff, whereas Seth, I guess we never got anything from. Whereas like I feel like I've gotten more quotes out of Eric Morris this last week than that we ever have from Seth in terms of like, dang, that like means something.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I don't know, because in a loss, it's always easy-ish to be, angry and start talking about everything.
Yeah,
And that's kind of what Eric Morris is. So, and plus, he's setting the tone, or setting the culture of the team and stuff. So,
yeah,
um, yeah, it didn't surprise me. I watched most of the press conference, and so it didn't really surprise me. But it was just kind of like, yeah, we got to be better at this, got to be better at this, got to be better at this. So, yeah, he laid it out pretty well overall. But this is the preview podcast, Colin. We do have questions, which we will get to y'all's questions at the end. We posted on our Twitter and got a lot of replies, so thank you all for that. But let's talk FIU first, because this is a big game for North Texas. Every game is a big game at this point out, but coming off of a loss where nothing went right. They need things to go right against
yeah,
FIU. They need to look good against FIU. This is as much as like you like to put it. This is about how you win as much as winning the game. They are 13-point favorites coming in, 12.5, 13, whatever it is, against an FIU team that last year was one of the worst teams in the country, and this year has started off the season with a loss to La Tech, albeit it was a close loss, 22-17. They were up in the fourth quarter. And then a 2-point win over Maine at home.
yeah.
And
Powerhouses.
yeah, La Tech looked awful. FIU looked awful in that game. I did not watch FIU versus Maine, but I can only imagine
Yeah.
the pain that
Let me just
those
look
who
at
did
this.
watch.
Let me just look at this stat. That's like an ultimate sicko game.
That is a sicko game. It is a
So
sicko game.
there was a total of 26 points scored, and
Yeah.
each quarterback each quarterback combined threw for 73 passes, and that's all there was. 73 passes got you 26 points.
The best part is Maine's quarterback went 21 of 44. FIU's quarterback went 15 of 30. So both were 50% or above.
That crazy.
Maine had 27 first downs, which is actually a substantial stat compared to FIU's 14.
Yeah.
We're
Still
looking
only
at
12 points though.
but still the consistency of being able to get 27 first downs is,
Yeah.
substantial to me.
I just mean in the sense that I don't understand how this game is so low scoring.
Oh yeah, no, there were yards put up. I mean, Maine put up 213 passing yards and 165 rushing yards. Like that's what is that? 378 yards. Like that should get you
378.
some points, and no
Shoot,
interceptions.
FIU's receiver Chris Mitchell had 201 yards and they only put up 14 points.
Yeah, so it was I'll give them credit. They kind of, I don't want to say fixed the pass game, but they at least passed through the ball around against Maine, unlike FIU where they went Grayson James went 5 of 14 with 1 interception and 4 yards passing for the game. They started Keon Jenkins, 15 of 30, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 292 yards. So quarterback wise, I don't know what to expect from FIU. I don't expect it to be a good passing attack at all. But I also watched FIU run the ball pretty comfortably against Louisiana Tech. And I don't think Louisiana Tech is great, but Shamari Lawrence, is a back that I think is talented enough to give North Texas some problems if they can't tackle. North Texas couldn't tackle Jaden Ott, and I'm not saying there's a Jaden Ott on this FIU team, but good Lord.
Yeah.
I think Colin could have ran out there and gotten like 5 yards on some of those.
And that'd be impressive because
those
I'm
runs.
not, I think my 40 is probably like 5'7", 5'8". So, that's not good. Not great.
So what are you looking forward to in this game?
I'm looking for the blowout. I'm looking for a very convincing blowout because under no circumstance should this team not get blown out by North Texas. Last year, North Texas won 52-14. That's 38 points.
Yeah.
The year before that, they won 49-7. That's
Yeah.
41 points. FIU was without their two best running transfers. They transferred out or they're gone. They're off the team.
Yeah.
They lost their two best running backs, their best wide receiver, their best tight end, their two best offensive tackles, and their best safety
From last year's team.
from last year's team. Under no circumstance should this game be close. And Bernie said it earlier about something I say a lot. It's not about if we win or not. It's about how you win. This is definitely one of those games. Because if this game is close, then we're coming up here feeling like it's Cal because this team is bad, very, very bad. And if they can't make this one convincing, then we're gonna have a long season.
Long season.
Long
Very
season.
long season. Like, I don't. Again, the next 3 games, North Texas should win pretty comfortably. I don't think La Tech is very good either. So you have 3 straight games where you should win by double digits, pretty much.
Yep.
FIU being the first one, and I was kind of hesitant because I'm scared right now to set expectations for this North Texas team. I'm very much in a malleable state. You know, I kind of
Yeah.
I just want to take it as it comes and see
Yeah.
how the rest of the season plays out, because setting expectations for a first year coach with a roster that we both don't think is the most talented is probably not necessary and also not smart. So I think just win these
for this
next
game
3
it is though.
games. Now, okay, but what if they don't blow out FIU? What if they win by 14
The problem
points?
is that this exact team beat FIU by 38 points last year. Yes,
This
they
isn't
both
the
lost.
exact. This isn't the
Yes, they
exact same
both lost a
team.
lot of players. Obviously, North Texas doesn't have Jair. Obviously, they don't have, Larry Nixon and all of them. But FIU's lost more, and they didn't get better. So the point is, to me, is that the talent levels haven't really fluctuated in terms of who's good on both these teams.
And I think I actually read we have a question on, like, is Eric Morris on the hot seat if they lose to FIU or whatever, right? I think there was a question in that, right? And from Twitter,
I thought it was the defensive coordinator, but I could be wrong.
yeah, you can skim that.
Yeah.
Look, the thing is, for me, no matter how this game really goes, and actually, I think I remember it now. It was about
how
next
many
year.
seasons do we give
Yeah,
Eric
how many
Morris the head
seasons?
coach?
How many seasons? Sorry.
Assuming we go below 500 this year. Yeah.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I'm not counting this year at all.
I'm not either.
Is that ridiculous to say? Is that
again though, it's how it happens.
Look, if they go 4-8 this year,
yeah,
are we smashing the panic button?
It depends on how, like, if there's
Okay,
it doesn't matter who they beat. It's like if we can see improvement, like if we start seeing improvement in tackling, we'll be good. If Stoner starts to actually look like a quarterback, like that's good. Like I'll be like, okay, it's fine, 4-8. But if it looks like the 5-7 season that Mason Fine had in 2019, when we're looking at non-improving team, like that's there's 4-8 can look very different in 2 different ways. You know what I mean?
Okay, yes. I think I've reached this point, and it's scary reaching conclusions after week 1. I just don't think the talent on this team is where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to change during the season, in my opinion. Now, yes, they can improve. They can, be sharper, much sharper than what they were on both sides of the ball. But the talent on this team is not where it needs to be to compete on a consistent basis in the American. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I said this last podcast, and I'll repeat it. I do think, and this is more of a general talking point, this has nothing to do with FIU, but they do need to add more transfers over the offseason. I think you look across college football with the teams that have upset, quote unquote, big teams, Texas State, Colorado, go down the list, Duke over Clemson, who Clemson doesn't take transfer. It's like transfer portal era. This team's of North Texas caliber need to be taking probably 15 transfers every year. Like, go get the backup linebacker from Ole Miss. Go get the 3rd string receiver from Tennessee that was a 4-star. Like, those type of things. Like, talent perspective, they lost all those guys that we mentioned, and they didn't replace them with potential players like like Larry Nixon goes to Auburn. All right, we'll go get Auburn's third string linebacker.
Yeah.
Like just that's
Yeah.
kind of how you has to work
Yeah.
nowadays, and it's not ideal because nobody wants to be a transfer portal team. But damn, Texas State's out here being a transfer portal team, just beat Baylor and is only like a 2 touchdown dog to UTSA. And I wouldn't be surprised if Texas State pushed UTSA. So, anyways, I say all of that just to say this season for me is not as much.
Hello? You're here?
Sorry, myself. Sorry, I hit the little thing. But this
Oh.
season is not as much as like result as much as like you said, show improvement, and then after this year, that's where you take a step forward talent wise. Because I just
It might have
talent wise.
swapped your mic, by the way.
Oh, it swapped it. Okay, cool. I'll change it
No,
back. But yeah, that's kind of just where I'm at now. We can get back to talking about FIU, but I did want to say that because I've been thinking about that the past.
No, that's a good point. I don't necessarily see anything wrong with being a transfer portal team. Like if that's the way the sport's got to be played, you got to win the way you have to win.
Or at least, I mean, they just didn't take any. I mean, they took
Right.
obviously they took some. I'm not saying they
Yeah,
didn't
no,
take
they
any,
did. I mean, we
Trey
obviously Trey
Cleveland,
Cleveland.
Ethan Miner,
Yep. Yep.
the offensive lineman
Yep.
and more. Neither one started. Chandler Rogers didn't start, so it's like you took a lot of guys that didn't end up starting. Which okay, whatever, that's how it goes. But like, I didn't feel like they really made a splash in the portal the way I think you kind of need to.
For sure. I
In
agree with
college football,
that.
which might be unfair to them because they just got here.
Came in late, whatever.
Yeah.
I agree though that this is I don't expectations in terms of win-loss is not there for me. I think it's just definitely an eye test thing. Like if we watch this and we go, okay, this team can be something, or we see flashes, I'm good with it.
And we saw last week against FIU, I think offensively we saw flashes, right? We saw a very different offense. We saw how they used receivers a little bit more. So
here's it. God, we're not even getting into. Let's do the FIU game because then I feel like we should go to more overarching questions because I have a couple overarching questions I want to talk about.
Okay, I don't have much more on the FIU game, but yes, let's do it.
Okay, so we both. I don't either really outside of I guess pick'ems. Do you want to do pick'ems right now?
We can do pick'ems now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go first, or do you have yours?
Go ahead. You go first.
Okay. North Texas wins, or the over-under, I guess, for North Texas to win, 31.5.
Oh, spread.
Yeah, spread. Sorry, I could not get that out
okay.
correctly. Does North Texas cover 31.5?
No.
Okay, I say yes.
It's a lot of points.
It is a lot of points.
What are we looking at? I think I need to see this defense get stops.
I agree.
So,
which is why I gave
40,
FIU some points.
I don't know, dude. We'll see our predictions. All right, we'll do our predictions in a second.
Okay. Second one, North Texas over under 111.5 rushing yards. They had 41 last game.
That's a good line.
This one was really hard for me to figure out.
It's a good line.
It's pretty
111.5 rushing yards for North Texas after having 40 last week.
Yeah.
Oh God. Jeez, that's a tough line.
It is.
You want to go first? You want to get you?
I don't even know. I was I was sitting here I was gonna put it at 99, but I was like, damn man, there's no way with how good this team can be rushing against a really bad team. You have to pick first. That's the rule. I'll pick for this one. I'll pick at whatever opposite. So, because I'm on the fence like you.
I'll go. Yeah, I don't feel good, but I'll go over.
Okay, I'll go under. God, that's tough, man. That's tough.
I don't feel good. No, we both don't feel good of it.
And then we do 2 and then score prediction, right?
Yes.
My score prediction is 48-17, which I guess technically is under my spread, but I'll make it 49-17. I can't do math.
49-17, so 32. Okay.
Yep.
Wait, are we doing the score predictions right now? You don't want to do my pick 'em?
No, we'll do your pick 'em.
Okay. All right, my pick 'em. Okay. Receiving yards outside of Jamori Macklin. Over under. Over under. Hold on, let me think for a second. I had this thought out, but now I'm rethinking it.
This is a crazy line.
Oh, outside of Jamori Macklin, receiving yards outside of Jamori Macklin, over under 120.
Under, easy.
I don't know, bro. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'll take the over. I'll take the over.
That's crazy.
Also, I'm
Oh.
not writing it down yet, but
Oh,
I'll
okay.
write
I'll
it down.
I'll I'll
No,
do
I'll
this
write
thing.
it down.
Okay.
I didn't have my Google Doc open how I
Oh,
usually do.
okay.
And also I can go back and listen to this afterwards. It's not a big deal. Second line. Second line is gonna be. I don't want to do offense again. I want to go defense here. Over under. Tackles from Logan Wilson and Phil Hill. Over under.
Oh my god.
Over
These
under.
are like these are so sick. Over under what?
Over under 14 and a half.
14 and a half. Over under 14 and a half for the safeties. How many do they have left?
Logan Wilson and Phil Hill. I
He
think
had
Logan had
6.
like 8 last time.
He had
6.
6.
How much did
And
Phil have?
Phil had 5.
It's 11. So they are playing a more run heavy team that's not as good, I guess.
God,
Take the
man.
under.
I'm gonna go under on that.
Okay. I'll take the over.
Okay.
They're going to bounce back. They're going to start tackling people.
That is those are
believe.
2 sick lines outside of Jamori Macklin, and we're just targeting people.
It's targeting players. Well, not players for the receiver one. It's everybody else. So,
Yep.
Game score. I'm going to go. What was yours? Yours was 49-17.
49-17 for 32-point spread. You said under 32-point spread. So
Yeah, mine's going to be well under that, I think, actually. Mine's going to
oh
be.
my god.
34-17.
God, it'd just be a stab in the heart.
7. On the road, Colin. On the road, remember?
I don't give a damn, Brune.
On the road. Where did my
Crazy.
do you want to see the jerseys the FIU's wearing this week?
Yeah. Bring them up. Bring them up. Bring them up.
Share it on the screen.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Wow, they look like
Blue,
UNC.
Biscayne blue. Biscayne blue. So there you go.
So does it make you more or less scared when you see these?
Less.
What less scared? Yeah, I agree. This is. Listen, you just beat Maine by 2 points. I don't want to hear.
And now they're wearing Maine's colors. I know you don't. I don't know if you know what Maine's colors are. Yeah. But Maine is light blue like this. So
yeah, this
there
is.
you go. They
I
had a
think
whole
they
photo shoot.
They had to stick. They had to stick with their normal colors. You know, you don't see North Texas coming out with like a yellow. You know.
Now, to be fair to them, this is I know this spot in Miami.
Oh, you've been
Very
there.
nice.
You've been there.
Very nice location. I went there when I was with like 16 with my parents and stuff. And so shout out Miami.
Shout out Miami. Wow.
Watch it actually not be in from Miami. Someone's gonna be like, no, actually this was not Miami. I was like, okay, well, there you go. Okay.
All right, overarching questions or mailbag?
Mailbag. Okay, our overarching questions.
Because I have a couple I want to ask you, and we can, or I guess one for sure. So because you brought this up, Eric Morris, we saw flashes right of the offense. We're actually going to do air raid. The air raid thing seems to be forcing, being the forced issue. And you said last week, square pegs into round holes. Do you like that he's doing that, or would you rather him play to the team's strengths?
I love that he's doing that.
Okay.
This is. I think I said it kind of a little bit last podcast. It's like, not only do I have a talent question from this team, but there's an absolute overarching fit problem with the personnel on this team. And we said this a long time ago. We said this all throughout the summer. Like, how are they going to be an air raid team when they have a running back room like this, an offensive line that's built to stop to run the ball, and a quarterback or two quarterbacks that we're not sure how exactly they're going to work out, especially Stone Roll. So with all that being said, it's like, I think like I said, I'm not worried about wins and losses. And I really don't think Eric Morris is concerned with wins and losses this year. Now, obviously, you want to win every game. He's trying to win every game. But if the difference between going 4-8 and 5-7, like, obviously there's a morale boost to the fan base and to your team. But ultimately, this is far more about setting culture, setting your system, getting your scheme in place, and honestly, at some point, weeding out those who don't fit and those who don't buy in.
I agree. I just asked that because I feel like that was always something we complained about, Seth. Is you're claiming you're going to do one thing and then forcing or changing them. I guess changing your
Well,
mold to do something else.
I don't know. What it was Seth's.
I guess early on it was the air
Early,
raid.
it
It
was
was the
the
get
air
high,
raid.
let
Yeah,
it
it was
fly, and then it was
exactly.
like, oh, we can't do this anymore. We'll just.
Well, I give Seth a little bit of credit because they didn't have receivers the last few. Like remember when Bush and Shorter both got hurt in the first 2 weeks, and then they
That's
started
true.
running the
That's
ball. So
true.
it's like
That's actually
I
true.
give him credit for
That's fair
playing
enough.
to team
That's fair enough.
strengths.
That's fair enough.
Morris, though, I have much higher expectations because of what he has done with the quarterback position and the pass game in general. Like he is truly more of an architect than what Latrell was. So he
Yeah.
doesn't have to. Like you want to get players in that fit his system, ideally.
And then last overarching question is we didn't get to talk about this because we didn't watch the press conference. Excuse me, after the game, after last game. He did say Stoner was going to start today. We also obviously know that Stoner was going to start. It seems like he's very set on that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I said last podcast I would have started Chandler Rogers, and I still would have started Chandler Rogers. But they're all aboard the Stone Earl train right now, and nothing looks like it doesn't look like they're gonna get off of that anytime
What is
soon.
that? What does that tell you though about Chandler Rogers though? Like in terms of the
Yeah,
player,
I don't know.
what happened?
I have no idea what happened. It's just like I said before, it's just jarring.
Yeah,
Absolutely jarring that Chandler Rogers has been beaten out this badly to where
yeah.
I don't think Stone Earl was bad last game.
I don't think he was bad,
Um,
but it
but
definitely makes you think of like how close this actually was. Because
yeah,
although he wasn't bad, we didn't see like we saw flashes of certain things, but there was nothing like dynamic like we thought Chandler Rogers had. Then Chandler Rogers comes in, obviously doesn't do anything, and then it's no question Stone Earl's going to start next game.
yeah,
It's like, wow, maybe this wasn't close at all, which
yeah,
is fine. I mean, at least they picked a guy, which is
yeah,
the big thing for me is I'm glad they picked a guy. So hopefully it stays that way.
yeah. We'll see. We'll see how Stone does. He should light up FIU like you said. So
Yeah. All right,
see.
you ready for some questions, Bruni?
Yeah, let's take some questions from
Matthews,
our
let's name this Matthews mailbag.
Matthews mailbag.
Matthews
Are
mailbag.
you not answering the questions? It's just
I,
me.
I I might chime in if I completely disagree with
Chime
something,
in.
but I think this is going to be your deal now.
Okay.
I'm just going to go in order, no specific order. We're going to do all of them. There's a lot of them.
So you're gonna go in order, but no specific order.
Oh, sorry. Like not like we might ask the same question. I'm going to go
Okay.
in like the order they were posted. Sorry, my
Chronological
fault.
order.
Yeah, there you go. Wow, that was
Words are struggling with Colin right now.
goof. All right. Our boy Tony DeSosa, do you feel that the lack of experience across the coaching staff is a reason for concern?
It's a good question because I hadn't thought that much about it. I think it's concerning if this wasn't year one, and this might be the answer for a lot of the questions, but like I just think year one, he's built this staff. First time as a full FBS head coach. Obviously, it was that incarnate word. So sure, he can get more experienced guys, but we've also seen experienced guys in college football not work like very often. Like just because you hire a 60-year-old that's been doing something for 20 years doesn't mean it works. So I'm not really worried about the experience thing at this point, but hopefully these guys perform well and you can keep them for multiple years and then you kind of just work from there.
Cool. Like that answer, Green. Good answer. Mean
Good
Green
answer. Yeah, please
Moniker.
chime in.
What's the pulse of the team this week? FIU game. Reasons to be optimistic. Reasons to be pessimistic. How many games will Macklin eclipse 100 yards receiving? Hashtag go Mean Green. Hashtag GMG. Hashtag untouchable.
Hashtag untouchable. All right, read them off one at a time to
All right.
me.
Pulse of the team
Speed
this
run this.
week. What's the pulse of the team this week?
I liked what they said in the press conference. So I think look, man, there's 133, 132 teams in college football. Half of them lose week one. It's just the game. It's sport. It's life. I mean, fans are gonna live and die, and we live and die by this, by every result. But ultimately, they're back on the horse. This is a big game. FIU, La Tech,
Yeah.
ACU. It's a big stretch. I don't think they could afford to get bogged down with Cal, and I don't think they are.
Reasons to be optimistic and pessimistic. I feel like we already kind of answered that, but if you want to touch on that, you can. It's the same tweet. So
Optimistic, pessimistic. Optimistic.
Let's give one word answer.
Can't
Optimistic.
be worse.
Can't be worse. Okay. Reasons to be pessimistic.
Could always be worse.
Could always be worse. All right. Wow. Impressive. How many games will Macklin eclipse 100 yards receiving?
7.
Dang. I like that. We're
That'll
just
put
gonna keep
him.
track of that. We're just gonna keep track of that.
That's 700. Let's say that's probably 800 yards in 7 games right there. He'll quit. I think if you send over under at 1,000 yards, I would take the over for the season.
Really?
That would be very impressive.
That would be really impressive, actually. That's cool.
I mean, I
like
just
that.
think he's far and away the best receiver.
No,
they
he's
have,
definitely far and
they're
away the best
throwing him the
receiver they have,
ball
no question.
every chance they can. Shit, he might hit 1,000 yards in these 4 games.
I don't know what this means. Is the name MNFN Eagle? I've always
mean FN is the F word.
yeah, that's what I thought as
Eagle.
well.
Mean
But
FN Eagle.
I was trying to say it. I can't say things right now.
Were you gonna say the F word on this
Why would
podcast?
I ever? I'll do it right now. Don't even. Why would I ever pay $400 again for a seat at the DAT that anyone else can walk up on game day and purchase for $25? Brune, I need you to chime in on here.
I don't know. Sir, I'm sorry you've made a bad investment. Don't do that. Don't do that again.
I didn't even know North Texas seats could go up to $400.
If you're going for 400, you better have a freaking suite.
Yeah.
Colin, remember when we were going to get a suite? Was that like 2 years ago?
Yes.
Us
That was for the Cal game this year. We talked about it in March.
Was it really?
Yeah. Man, we would have actually hated ourselves.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Jeez. We tried splitting it among 8 people?
Yeah. Yeah, that was this last year.
Damn.
Or maybe it was for the bowl game against Boise.
It was the Boise bowl game. That's what it was.
Boise
I was going to say, I thought it was last year at some point.
No, the Cal thing would have been crazy. James K. Monroe, do you believe in the mean green?
I do. Always believe in the mean green. I think they'll be all right this year.
Okay.
I'm still not far off my 6-6 prediction at all. I still think they win these 3 games and then they can win 3 conference games.
And if they win these 3 games, our prediction is basically the same. It's just, they didn't look as good doing it.
Just had a bad loss. Imagine they barely get by FIU and La Tech and
3-1 though.
They're limping in, just limping into conference play, and then Navy sitting there. And I still think Navy is a winnable game, but Jesus,
we'll see. If Cal beats Auburn this weekend, does it make our loss look any better in y'all's eyes?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think the spread's only 7 too. Cal is Cal is better than I think everybody expected because of Spavital as their OC and the way that they were able to that offense is how we expect North Texas offense, I think, to look in the coming years, because Cal obviously has the talent to where they can lean on you in the run game the way North Texas can't at this moment. And maybe that changes, maybe it doesn't. But from a passing perspective, it didn't matter which quarterback was in for Cal, right?
Yeah.
It just kept humming, and that's kind of how it worked. Because Finley, back up at NC State, which also goes to my transfer point. Back up at NC State, the starter was a transfer from TCU, so it's Sam Jackson. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was very eye-opening. I think a lot of people's eyes were open. I think they're going to be a lot better this year offensively, which was the question mark. We didn't know how much better they'd be. I think they're going to – I don't think they beat Auburn, but I think 7 is a pretty good spread. I think they keep it within 10.
Okay. Same guy. Evan Frantum says one more. We kind of answered this too. Stoner outright won the job for QB1 for now. There is no or on the depth chart with him and Chandler Rogers. How do you feel about that?
It seems like they have after the last game, it seems like their decision is even more steadfast. They are all right, well, we've seen enough. This is the guy 100%, which, okay, cool. If you want to say Chandler Rogers played poorly in his snaps, which I don't know if it's fair, but you can say he did. Mm-hmm. So maybe that obviously didn't help, but I just wonder if for what they want to do this year, I guess Stoner makes the most sense to them.
I think it also goes back to what we talked about, or what I said earlier, is that he must have really won the job, because if it was close, I don't think that or goes away after last game.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they and Coach Morris has said He's, very big. He wants to select a guy to give him the starting reps, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's great. I just didn't think it would come this quickly to where you're like, all right, this is our guy. We're rocking with him. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know if there's anything he can do over the next game or two that loses him the job.
Unless it's
Barring,
an absolute collapse. Yeah.
yeah, barring an absolute collapse. But like,
Yeah.
if he
Like
goes
a
out there
loss
and
against
plays how he
FIU.
did, if he plays how he did against Cal in the next few games, it's not good. Like, I don't think that's impressive to anybody, but I don't even know if that's enough to lose him the job at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
Hopefully he
Mo-
goes and solidifies it. Hopefully he goes out and has good games and we don't have to worry about this, but we'll
I
see.
agree. Mark Ryan Alexander, what are your feelings on Coach Moore's comments during his press conference below? Are we going to see more players leaving next spring? I didn't watch the press conference because I'm unprepared and bad. Bruni, you did.
Yeah.
Is this a real quote? There are a lot of people that I know that I don't know if they bought into what we're doing.
It's from the DRC, isn't it? That
Yeah,
quote.
I don't, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. No
You
offense
think
to
you think
DRC, but they look fake. They look like fake graphics. I feel like Clutch Points threw that up there.
No, we should whenever we see a DRC graphic, we should just make our own graphic with the same words and just
Same
make it like a
words.
billion times cooler and just be like, here's what Morris said at his presser.
But we could go
Just
crazy and just make it actually Clutch Points with like the
right.
weird like stuff in the background. Like
Yeah.
it have like an eagle behind Morris, like its
Yeah.
wings out. Like
Or just take their graphic and just like slightly change it to make it better all the way around and then put our logo in the corner.
so,
There you
that's a
go.
real quote.
What was the quote again? Yeah.
There are a lot of people that I don't know if they bought into what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean,
And the
this
question
isn't
was, are we going to see more players leave next spring?
yes. This is a coaching change. I don't know if North Texas fans have fully wrapped their head around what this is. Okay, no, I'm gonna say. Let me not speak in generalities because we've covered coaching changes before. Whether it's Grant McCaslin, Seth Luttrell, I'm over here, Brian Kelly. Like coaching changes happen, and I hate to tell y'all, but let me just throw a random number out there. 25% of the team is probably like, oh man, this doesn't fit what I do, or I don't, the coaches, these aren't the coaches I signed to. There's so much going on in a player's head where it's like, this might not fit exactly what I want to do. Maybe I'm playing this position. I want to do this position. Maybe I'm doing this. And I was told I was
Yeah.
going to do that last year. Like, this isn't just how it goes when there's a coaching change. Things are not comfortable. Things do not work immediately. This roster does not make sense. We talked about it before. And because of that, it wouldn't surprise me at all if a section of this team was like, I don't love this. So, and we see them leave the portal to the portal over the summer. There's a chance that there is somewhat of like an exodus over the summer with players. And I'll tell you what, that's not a bad thing
I think
for
it,
North
I think it,
Texas and
I think
Eric
it's
Moore.
I think it's interesting. Just to tag on to that, I think it's interesting that he was able to keep so many players. But I
Yeah.
think the players that do end up leaving next spring or summer or whatever are going to be the players that would have left if he had not retained them. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to replace them anyways.
Well, I think, like you said, they did a good job of being like, hey, we can give you a spot potentially to start and all this stuff, and we
Mhm.
can keep you in the rotation. And there's a lot of playing time available. And if you just give us a chance for year one and see where it goes from there, that's very much how those conversations go. And spoiler alert, a lot of those things after 1 year, players aren't happy.
Yeah.
Players aren't happy regardless. And
Yeah.
now there's a coaching change to stack on top of it. It's this social media, like everybody's talking to everybody. Like this is just there's going to be players transferring out after year one of any coaching change.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it goes. Now you get to those teams like Cal, well, not Cal, I'm sorry. You get those teams that had a coaching change and already took a lot of transfers. Like I keep mentioning Texas State did, Colorado did, obviously. Like those teams, maybe you don't have a full coaching change. Auburn, similar degree where they had Hugh Freeze take a lot of transfers. So that's just you're gonna have a massive amount of turnover. And I'm here to tell y'all, even if they lose really good players, it's perfectly fine. They're
Yep.
gonna be okay because they're gonna need to have an influx of talent one way or the other. Um, they're gonna lose players. Like it's just how it goes. And yeah, you can be concerned. I think it is a fair concern to be like, all right, if they lose a couple games here and there, like do they lose a couple players along the way? That's the case for every team ever that has a coaching change, man. It just is. It just is. I mean,
It
Lincoln
just
Riley at
is.
USC last year, they couldn't get a stop. Those defensive players were probably pissed off, and they probably left. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just how
for
it
sure.
goes.
From the Lean Green Machine, how many seasons do we give Eric Morris a head coach, assuming we go below 500 this year? Would next year be make or break, essentially?
No, no,
Okay. I
no.
think we leave it at
Again,
no.
we don't. We have not fully grasped how a coaching change works at North Texas. Like, he could go 4-8 this year and 5-7 next year, and he's not getting fired, and he shouldn't
Yeah,
get fired.
I
He
agree.
shouldn't get fired if he goes 4-8, 4-8. Like, this is multiple years, gonna be a rebuild. I just look, if Florida State didn't fire Mike Norvell after going, I think it was 3-9 year one, and I think it was 5-7 year two. If Florida State didn't fire him after that, North Texas is not firing their head coach after 2 years
Here's
of
another
being.
thing too that ended up hurting North Texas in the past is that North Texas had immediate success with Mason Fine, and we talked about over and over again there was never a foundation set. And I think that these next couple
Yeah,
years it's going to be a slow build because you have to build that foundation for a new conference.
that's a good point. That's a very good point. The success for the Latrell era, that's a throwback actually. Because
Yeah,
I those to those podcast conversations where we're like, the success happened very quickly
yeah,
because of Mason Fine and Jalen Guyton, because you had some top end talent, but the rest of the team was just empty.
yeah.
Like, it was nothing
Wasn't up
else.
there. Yep.
So yeah, I think like you said, you build the foundation, and you build the culture and all that stuff, and you kind of work from there. It might take you 2 full years to get to where you need to be as a program, and then year 3 is where you maybe get to 7 wins, and then you build from there. Like, it's a very realistic rebuild.
Yep. I wonder the world. Should the DC be fired if we lose to FIU?
Probably.
That'd be
I,
crazy.
I just I just I just went on a rant about how we should be patient. Like, no,
But hey, if we
yeah,
lose to FIU, like what if it was a shootout? FIU
a
can't score more
shootout.
than 17 points, and they come and win like 51 to like 48 or something.
That would be bad. But no, yeah. So I'm gonna try to imagine that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
But
me too.
we'll see.
From Alejandro, what is the future of running back play in our offense?
Hopefully, I don't play Cal and get blown up every
Yeah.
freaking snap. I just I think it's more of obviously like a spread run attack to how Morris wants to do it, which does put a lot of players in different positions to have to block that I'm not sure how if they're comfortable blocking that way.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, we'll see this week, because this week they're going against talent that is less than them, athletes that are either on the same level or below them. Whereas last week, I think we saw Cal just physically dominate them.
Yeah.
And that is concerning, considering, like SMU, UTSA, Tulane are all on this schedule. So, like, I feel worse about those games, but at the same time, I don't think the run game is going to be abysmal. I think they can run the ball against FIU, La Tech, and Abilene Christian the
Yeah.
next 3 games. And then Navy, we'll have to see, in Temple, you go from there. But I think they obviously run the ball better, but schematically, I don't think we see a massive change. I just think it's going to be spread the defense out, try to get a light box, run the ball. They got light boxes last week. They couldn't run the ball because they couldn't hold blocks.
Yeah. From TX Kelp, what do you need to see on Saturday to have any confidence for a bowl season if all confidence didn't die last weekend?
Confidence didn't die for me last weekend. Oh, look, Maya.
Yeah, she's down there. Maya sighting.
I hadn't seen her in a while. I just saw something like moving in the corner. I was like, what is this? And then it's Maya. Confidence definitely did not die with me last week. With North Texas. I said this before. I still think 6-6 is very much in reach. Like, that game does not deter me as much as it does other people. Like, they're not going 2-10, I don't think. So, what do I need to see? Obviously, I think I need to see them blow out FIU.
Yeah.
Defensively, you need to hold them to ideally 14 or less points. Ideally,
Yeah.
like, they shouldn't be surpassing 14 points, really.
I made it
if we're
17
being
because I
honest.
feel like they might still be shell shocked from last week, and I
I
think
made it 17 because I'm scared they're not going to be able to tackle on like 2 plays and just,
let
FIU just
something
gets
go.
loose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. But I agree with you on that as well. Because I don't think I think the only thing it does make me feel less confident in is winning a bowl game because you're going to be playing a team that's not much worse than Cal,
Yeah,
probably.
and I just realized that I had them going 7-5. You had them
Yeah,
going 6-6.
I had them
So
going 6 and
I
6.
I
So
I would lower my win total by 1 right now, at 6. Like, I
yeah,
do think 6-6 is possible, and 5 6-6, 5-7 right now after that game, because I didn't realize the talent deficiencies that they had at certain positions.
yeah. Mean Green Glory, he has 2, but we'll start with 1, and then we only have 2 left after that.
Go
Will
ahead.
Morris and company be able to successfully clean up enough between week 1 and week 2 for this team to be competitive the rest of the season?
Well, I'd say that they have to clean it up over the next 3 weeks before conference play to be competitive the rest of the season. Uh, I don't know. I don't think they really can. I don't think you definitely not in 1 week. 1
Yeah.
week, you're not cleaning anything up. You're playing FIU and not Cal. That's the difference in week 1 and week 2.
Yeah.
If they look a lot better, that's the difference. So no, 1 week, no. But I think if you look big picture at can they take enough steps forward to be ready for conference play where they could potentially go like 4-4 in conference play? That's the question. That's going to be very interesting because I don't know the answer to that. I don't think anyone knows the answer to that. If they can get that much better in 3 weeks.
I think it helps just from just the fact that we played FIU and La Tech in Conference USA last year. Like, so we can get an
Because
idea, like a benchmark of like where this team is at, because we've seen it. Like if we didn't know who FIU was and they win by 40 points, we're gonna be like, oh, this is great. And then it's FIU.
yeah.
So I think it's good. I guess good and bad for expectations, because if they blow them out, we're gonna be like, it's FIU, but they did what they were supposed to do. But it's better than beating like an ACU team who they
If they
also
beat
play.
FIU by 30 points, I'm going to give them credit.
No, I'll give them credit. I'm not saying I wouldn't give them credit. What I'm saying is that we're not going to exaggerate what
Okay.
the
Yeah.
win means.
Okay.
You both predicted Cal loss on the schedule. Was the loss better or worse than you anticipated?
Well, it was much
Yeah,
worse.
watch the last podcast. It was much worse.
It was much worse than what you
It's
expected.
much
But
worse.
ultimately, a loss is a loss. So
Yeah.
Cal was also better than I expected to. So give Cal credit.
Miles Schoaf, do you think this year is more of a learning year and we, the fans, expected too much, and that next year is the real test for Eric Morris and the returning players?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Did fans expect too much? I didn't. I don't think I expected too much. Maybe look, on paper, I had them winning 7 games. Yes, I
Yeah.
understand that was a lot, asking a lot. I still think 5 and 6 wins is very much on the table. Now I know there's a big difference between 5 wins and 7 wins in a regular season, especially when I had UTSA being one of those. Like they're not a 7-win team, but they can get to 5 or 6, and I think that's a fine season. So maybe fans had too much expectations. I would hope not, because coming in, if you're expecting anything more than 7 wins, then I can't really help you. But
I think we all kind of came in here expecting a little bit too much, though, like slightly. Like
there's not
if
as much
we
talent. Look, there's not enough. There's not as much talent on this team as I thought there was. I've said
yeah,
that
but
time
I
and
feel
time
like
again.
everyone thought there was. You know what I mean? So
I
we're
thought
all
there was
sitting here
too.
like 6-6 is easy. Yeah, it's fine. We'll win one of the big games. I mean, just like our schedule thing, and then you
Yeah.
just happen to have them win against another team. So, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, though. I don't think it's a coaching thing. I feel like if that's what this is coming back to, I don't think the expectations were too high for the coaching staff. I think we just overestimated the talent on the roster.
Yeah.
Last question, unless you want to answer a question about the Alamo Dome.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I am going to throw that in there. So, last question before the Alamo Dome question: Mean Green Mountaineer, which I like because it's North Texas, West Virginia. So this is either Ren's burner or it's not. How mean and green will this year's Mean Green? Whoa, how mean and green will be this year's Mean Green?
Sound
Brittany?
like a Dr. Seuss reading there.
Yeah.
How mean and green with the well,
If you let's make a meter from
how
meanest.
mean will the green be?
Yeah, 1 to 10.
Right now they're like a 2.
How mean will they be? That is the question. How mean
Will they
and
be? They'll
green
be like a
will
5.
you
They'll
think
be
a 5?
5. It depends on their I'm interested to see low key. I'm interested to see their jerseys throughout the year. See
Mm.
how they look,
Is that
because
what's gonna be is that what's gonna make the Mean Green
that
meter?
is a
Like,
that is a determining factor there. If
yeah,
they just
because if they
roll
roll out
out the
jerseys like
same
FIU,
thing,
If they start rolling out these weird color jerseys
Yeah,
like
I need to
FIU
see
does.
some cool green mean jerseys. So
Okay.
we'll see how that goes.
There you go, Mean Green Mountaineer. All right, last question. Bobby, our boy Bobby. San Antonio's Alamodome ranked among world's ugliest buildings. I've only been there once, Bruni, but you're a San Antonio lifer. So what's it like?
Okay, in your one trip,
World's ugliest buildings. Not
do you
the United
remember? Yeah,
States.
world is crazy. Do you remember what it looked like in your one time there?
I mean, I remember the inside, but I never really just wanted to look at the outside. Let me see. Let me find. So it's 64,000 seat arena. It's the new ranking. The Alamo Dome is ranked the 9th ugliest building in the U.S. and the 16th ugliest in the world. According to the report, 13.23% of people who tweeted about the Alamo Dome design found it ugly. People have called it the dead armadillo and the doo-doo dome.
The dead armadillo is crazy. Here,
So
let
I
me
need
pull it
your
up on the
honest
screen.
opinion, Bruni.
Let
You've
me
seen a
pull
lot
up
of
for
buildings
you.
in your time. You've been to Miami.
Let me
What do you think?
Here's the Alamo Dome for those wondering.
It's a flattering picture, honestly. The picture they have does not look as good. It's like a lower angle,
So let me move us on the side. I mean, I think the Alamo Dome is not ugly, but maybe that's just because I've been around it my whole life. I don't know. I always thought it was cool, but now it is old. Spurs used to play, I mean, games in like the 90s and stuff. So like, it's not
Really look at it
new.
though. Like it does look kind of weird. It kind of looks like a barn dominium that you just kind of added some windows on. Like you got those like 3 little outlets like on that left side there. Like those are definitely added after the fact, right? Oh, hello UTSA. Right. It looks like the Super Pit with all of its renovations. Where does the Super Pit rank next to the Alamo Dome in terms of world's ugliest buildings?
The thing is, you can tell by these windows how old it is.
Yeah.
But from the inside, they're also heavily tinted so the sun doesn't get in there. I don't know.
I like the inside, but we're not judging the
Like,
inside. Is that the Doo-Doo Dome, Bruni? Yes or no?
I don't think it's the doo-doo dome. Now, dead armadillo is funny because these are like the legs,
Legs. Yeah, that is pretty good.
and it's like on its back. Like that's funny. That is funny. So
That's pretty good.
no, I don't think it's one of the ugliest buildings in the world. I feel like I've definitely seen uglier buildings.
Okay.
Heck, I was at Camping World Stadium last week in Orlando, and that thing was hideous.
Take it.
God,
Let's put it up real quick. Let's be the
you
last
want
thing
to
we
put that
do.
up?
Yeah, let's see. Camping World Stadium versus the Alamo Dome.
which building is uglier? Okay, here we go. Now, I don't know if I can properly show it from the outside because it doesn't look like they've taken pictures from the outside.
You've definitely taken pictures of the outside.
Oh, I'm looking. Okay, here's one, I guess. Here we go. Oh, this is Wikipedia. Here we go. Share screen. So this is from the outside.
I'm telling you right now, that looks way better.
Dude, no, it's pretty trash.
Well, it does kind of look like. So I would say I didn't get to the right side yet. So the left side, like everything left of the second stadium light, like the Orlando City and left, looks pretty good. And then you get to the right, it looks like you have scaffolding on that whole right side.
Like literally, it's very bones. Like it's very like, I don't know how to describe it. It was really ugly to me. Especially on the inside.
It looks like an upgraded Apogee almost.
Like especially on the inside, it was pretty freaking ugly. So, yeah, I don't know. This one was not impressive to me, but yeah, there you go. So that's my current rankings of stadiums.
Yeah, currently Alamo Dome, Camping World Stadium.
Yeah, Camping World Stadium. Apogee's above both.
We can't call it that anymore.
Dat.
God, that's just not a good name.
So,
yeah. Anyways,
all right.
Thank you, everybody. Bottom right there. Home field it up. Buy stuff.
Home field it up. Buy stuff.
I know you might not be into the football team right now, but that's okay. They have plenty of basketball shirts on there.
I think they have NFL stuff too now. I think I saw something.
Hey, week 1 tonight. Lions versus Kansas City. Bruni, I know you're rooting for my Lions. So everyone watch that game with me in I can't think of the word.
They got some bomber jackets from other schools that are so cool.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to talk about other schools on this podcast, Brune.
Gosh, dang. Like the entire SEC is here. UConn. Oh,
Yeah.
these are tough. Oh my god. Here, let me
Yep.
just share my screen.
Wow. Yeah, show off the product. Show the
Well, I'm
product.
showing off Kansas. I'm showing off
That's okay.
other
Show it
schools.
off.
Look
Yeah,
at
someone
Kansas
buy
State,
that.
bro.
Oh, I love the Kansas State one.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think Arkansas is tough. The A, LSU, UConn,
UConn's awesome. That
Tennessee,
sucks. I don't like that one.
Purdue,
Michigan kind of sucks
Michigan,
too.
Kent State. So, um,
Yeah, go through those
yeah,
bestsellers real quick. Georgia golf. There's a Georgia golf shirt. That's crazy. How good does your team have to be at football to get a golf shirt? That's
that's
the
a
real
good
question.
one. Florida, I think that's cool. Tulane, UC Irvine.
Yeah, these are sick. Let's show off the North Texas stuff now, since
Why not?
yeah.
And
Go through it.
look at all the schools they have.
Yep.
Let's see.
Where's
North Texas.
FIU? There's not.
Here's North Texas. I think there's 6, right? 8, 9.
Yeah, 9.
Did they always have this hoodie?
Yeah,
Here
I
we
have that
are.
hoodie. Yeah, that hoodie's sick, by the way. You guys should get that hoodie. Also, that North
Yeah.
Texas Super Pit shirt is also great. The long sleeve.
I have this one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's sick. They did. I think they added the one above that green one on the right.
This
That one. Yeah.
I like that one. I love it.
Anyways, use code M Green for 50% off, and you can use it for anything. It doesn't have to be North Texas related. So use it for everything, and just buy it to your heart's content. Buy your whole wardrobe.
Yes.
Helps out the pod.
Your whole wardrobe. 15% off first purchase is 10% off every purchase following. Yeah, that's it. We've rambled long enough, so we'll let y'all go. Game on Saturday. What time's the game at again? Saturday night.
I feel like it's like some random. I think it's 5. For some reason, I feel like it's 5, but I might be thinking of an NFL game.
I'm looking it up. Game is at 6:30 Eastern time. I believe that is.
So 5:30.
Yes. So, all right. Thank you all for joining us. Leave us a 5-star rating and review if you're listening. Like, comment, share, subscribe on the YouTube channel. We appreciate the support. Thank you all for the questions. Follow us on Twitter /X Green Room UNT, and
It's X/Twitter now.
We'll be back after the game to talk about North Texas' triumphant win over FIU.
Mm-hmm.